Chosen One, I need you to stop exactly what you are doing. Do not scroll past this message. This is not some random algorithm trying to guess your mood. This is a direct interception. Heaven is breaking through your timeline right now because a specific timeline is collapsing. The person you have been waiting for is panicking. Right now, today. They just admitted something terrifying to their inner circle. The very people who told them to stay away from you are now sitting in absolute silence. They finally confessed that they cannot fight your energy anymore. They thought they could just walk away and forget you. But distance did the exact opposite. It magnified your presence in their mind until it became unbearable. Funny how everyone pretended they did not see you coming. The friends who judged you, the family members who whispered about you. They all thought you were just another temporary chapter in their life. But your person just told them the truth. They admitted that every time they try to move forward without you, their entire reality starts to crumble into pieces. They are literally losing sleep over the silence you gave them. I know how many nights you cried over this connection. You sat alone in your room and wondered what you did wrong. You replayed every conversation. You questioned your own sanity. You thought you pushed them away by being too intense, but heaven wants you to hear this loud and clear. You were never too much. Their capacity was simply too small for your blinding light. You are the empath with boundaries now. You are the one who survived the storm completely alone. And that brutal isolation changed you forever. You stopped reaching out. You stopped begging for bare minimum communication. You pulled your precious energy completely back into your own sovereign space. The moment you did that, it sent a massive shockwave directly into their nervous system. They felt the cut. They are physically aching from your absence right now. The inner circle does not know how to help them. They tried to distract them with new people. They tried to fill the empty void with meaningless noise. But your person just looked at them and shook their head. They told their friends that the distractions do not work anymore. No one else carries your unique frequency. No one else feels like a safe home. They finally realized that you were the true anomaly in a world full of ordinary copies. This is your era of quiet authority, my beloved. You do not have to lift a single finger. You do not have to send a single text message. Your silence is doing all the heavy lifting right now. It is tearing down their massive ego brick by brick. The universe deliberately separated you two so they could experience the profound emptiness of a reality without your light. It was a required training protocol. They tried so hard to fight the magnetic pull. They built heavy walls of stubborn pride. They listened to toxic advice from people who are secretly jealous of what you two share. You need to understand the bitter jealousy of this inner circle. They saw the rapid spiritual elevation that was happening when you two were together, and it terrified them. People who live in the dark absolutely despise the light. So they whispered malicious lies. They planted seeds of heavy doubt. They told your person that you were too complex to handle. And for a short time, your person actually believed those foolish lies. They chose the comfort of their shallow friends over the deep ocean of your soul. But the universe has a very strict policy regarding chosen ones. You cannot touch a chosen one and walk away without facing a severe energetic consequence. The spiritual karma is immediate, and it is relentless. They are feeling that heavy karma today. They are sitting there completely defeated by the sheer magnitude of what they feel for you. They completely surrender. But before we go further into exactly what they are planning to do next, I want to hold something in front of you. Something critical. Something that was discovered not inside a church or a spiritual community, but inside a research laboratory. Something that won the highest scientific recognition available. Most chosen ones have never been told about this. Because this discovery explains something I know you have deeply felt for a very long time. It explains the massive gap between your pure energy and their confused behavior. The painful distance you feel is not just spiritual, It is neurological. There is a specific frequency that dictates how a connection flows, and yours was operating on a completely different level than theirs. I will show you exactly what the scientific researchers found. I will tell you exactly what this frequency is called later in this message. But first I need you to fully understand what was actually happening behind the scenes when they pulled away. So hold this question in your mind right now. What if the massive gap between you two is not a character flaw? What if it has a name? Keep watching, because the hidden truth is about to be exposed. Let us talk about the silence. I know exactly how heavy it has been. You have spent countless days staring at a blank screen. You waited for a message that never came. And every single morning when you wake up, that familiar heaviness is already sitting directly on your chest. You push through your day. You smile for the people around you. But inside, you are barely holding on. You wake up violently at 3 in the morning. Your heart is racing for absolutely no logical reason. Your mind immediately goes to them. This is not just regular insomnia, because you are physically intercepting the heavy spiritual signals they are broadcasting into the universe. They are thinking about you. Stop letting the world convince you that you are crazy. Stop thinking that your anxiety is just a medical condition. Your intuition is razor sharp. You felt the sudden shift in their energy weeks before they even pulled away. You knew something was wrong, but they completely refused to communicate it while hiding behind their friends. They left you in the dark. That sudden abandonment hurts deeply. It cuts right down to the core of your soul. You gave them pure, unconditional love. You offered a safe harbor when the world was tearing them apart. And in return, they gave you deafening silence because they were terrified of the vulnerability you required. They walked away. They abandoned the connection you built. You have shed so many tears over this situation. You questioned your own worth. You wondered if you were simply unlovable. Please hear me right now. The rejection was never about your actual value. Heaven deliberately slowed this connection down to protect you from the toxic environment that still surrounds them. You were not being punished at all. You are being divinely isolated for a specific reason. Your energy field is too pure to be mixed with their chaotic reality. The universe had to separate you two physically. If they had stayed, their unhealed trauma would have completely drained your spiritual battery, and you would have given them everything until you had nothing left for yourself. You are the empath who gives too much. You always try to fix broken people. You absorb their pain so they do not have to feel it. But God is putting a hard stop to that dangerous cycle today. You cannot heal a person who is actively running away from the light. They had to be left alone in the dark so they could appreciate the warmth of your sun. Your silence became the ultimate teacher. When you finally stopped reaching out, the dynamic completely shifted. You took your massive energy back. You stopped begging for basic human decency, and that sudden withdrawal of your light sent them into a total spiritual tailspin. They never expected you to actually walk away and hold your ground. They always assumed you would just wait forever. They thought your forgiveness was a permanent guarantee, but the empath with boundaries is a very dangerous force. You leveled up while they were playing silly games. You went into hermit mode and did the shadow work, because you decided to heal the deep wounds that made you accept breadcrumbs. Now your vibration operates on a master level. You demand absolute respect without speaking a single word. Your presence alone commands authority. And they can feel this upgrade from miles away. It terrifies their ego. They know they cannot approach you with the same low-effort energy, because your new frequency demands a level of honesty they do not have. They are paralyzed by the fear of your new boundaries. They watch you glowing from a distance. They see how you continue to thrive despite the pain they caused you. This is why their inner circle is so incredibly uncomfortable right now, because your quiet authority is exposing the shallow nature of their entire existence. The contrast is simply too blinding. I want you to take a slow, deep breath. right here. Let that deep validation settle firmly into your chest. You did absolutely nothing wrong. You loved them with a pure heart, but they required a harsh and painful lesson in loss to finally understand your immense value. Tap the like button as an act of agreement with what God just spoke to you. Their sleepless nights are the direct result of this lesson. They stare at the ceiling and regret every time they ignored you, while the universe forces them to digest the heavy reality of losing a chosen one. They read your old messages over and over again. They are choking on the bitter truth. They ruined the best thing that ever happened to them. But this is where the story gets even more complex. The painful distance you two experienced was not just a simple misunderstanding, and it was certainly not just a case of bad timing or unhealed trauma. There is a deeper layer to this phenomenon, and it connects directly back to that scientific discovery I asked you to hold in your mind earlier. Something physical was actively blocking the spiritual connection. A specific biological frequency was being suppressed. You need to understand this hidden mechanism right now. If you choose to ignore this truth, you will keep repeating these painful cycles of separation forever, and you will constantly wonder why your profound connections always short-circuit. Let us completely reframe the past right now. I need you to drop the heavy burden of guilt you have been carrying for months. You did not break this connection. You did not chase them away by being too affectionate. It is time to look at the truth. The real reason they pulled away has nothing to do with your character, because something much deeper was actively interfering with the energy between you two. Think back to the question I asked you to hold earlier. What if the massive gap between you and them is not a flaw but a specific scientific name? Here is what society never told you. The reason your profound connections always seem to short-circuit is actually a brainwave, and scientists have a very specific name for it. They call it gamma. Gamma is the exact frequency your brain was running when you were a beautiful child. Back when ideas came easily to you, when learning felt completely effortless, when you somehow knew things long before they even happened, your intuition was razor sharp, and the entire world felt like it was working in your absolute favor. Then harsh adulthood arrived, and the modern world went to work on your spirit. The chronic stress of daily survival took over. The heavy expectations of society altered your beautiful mind. The school system trained you to conform instead of create, and every single year this sacred frequency was pushed deeper and deeper down. It was suppressed further below the surface, until the brilliant version of you went completely silent. Your intuition suddenly dulled. The powerful synchronicities that used to guide your steps just stopped happening. The deep sense that the universe is working with you went totally quiet, and you felt completely abandoned by heaven. This is exactly why your most important connection began to fracture. When gamma fades, your spiritual receiver becomes severely distorted. You started operating on chaotic survival beta waves. You began to misread their subtle energetic signals. You felt extremely anxious because you were disconnected from your own divine center. Your person did not run away from your beautiful soul. They ran away from the frantic static noise that was blocking your true light. They felt the heavy desperation of your suppressed state, and it triggered their own unhealed trauma into massive overdrive, so they pulled away to protect their own fragile emotional system. You thought you just had to try much harder to keep them. You gave more and more of your rapidly depleting energy. You sacrificed your own sleep to comfort them. But you cannot fix a fundamental frequency gap with mere physical effort. Willpower is absolutely useless when the core receiver is offline, and you are fighting a losing battle. Stop blaming yourself for their sudden exit right now. Heaven deliberately interrupted this toxic pattern before it destroyed you. You were desperately operating on a suppressed frequency that simply did not match your true kingdom destiny. God removed them so you could finally realize what was stolen from you in the very beginning. Most people will live their entire lives without knowing this suppression happened to them. They will just accept the struggle as normal. But you are not most people. And the answer to that profound question I asked you is closer than you think. I will tell you exactly what this solution is called before this message reaches its final end. You must stay focused, because understanding this mechanism changes everything. Once you realize your gamma was suppressed, their confusing behavior makes perfect sense. They could not handle the intense friction between your dormant potential and your current pain. Their spirit recognized your greatness, but their human mind was terrified. They felt completely inadequate next to your massive aura. Even with your frequency suppressed, you still shined brighter than anyone they had ever met. That is exactly why they had to retreat to the safety of their shallow friends. They needed to be around people who did not challenge them to evolve and who let them stay comfortably numb. This brings us directly to their toxic inner circle. Those jealous friends sensed your suppressed state immediately. They could smell the exhaustion on you, and they weaponized that vulnerability to poison your person against you. They are the ones who convinced your person to walk away because they wanted to maintain their selfish control. Heaven is completely exposing their malicious interference today. The universe is removing the heavy veil from your eyes right now. You are waking up to the full reality of your own suppressed power. And the moment you take that incredible power back, their entire fake reality will shatter into a million tiny pieces. Their inner circle is about to face a very harsh awakening. They thought they had successfully removed you from the picture forever. They celebrated your absence and filled your person with cheap validation. But the cosmic scales are actively rebalancing right this second, and the deep spiritual debt they owe you is being called in today. Let us look closely at the people who surround them. This inner circle is nothing but a carefully constructed illusion. They present themselves as loyal friends who just want the best for your person, but their true intentions are deeply selfish, because they secretly rely on your person to validate their own toxic behavior. They do not want your person to evolve. They want a companion for their misery. Then you walked into the picture. You carried a frequency that instantly disrupted their comfortable little echo chamber. You are the chosen one who operates in complete truth. You do not play the shallow social games they constantly rely on. You see right through the manipulative masks they wear every single day, and this level of piercing awareness terrified them down to their very core. You instantly became a massive threat to their control. People who live in the dark absolutely despise the light. They do not hate you because you did something wrong to them. They hate you because your pure existence completely exposes their hidden darkness without you even trying. When you were around, your person started to change for the better. Your person started questioning the toxic habits that this group desperately wanted to keep alive, and this caused a major panic within their ranks. So they launched a silent campaign of ruthless sabotage. They whispered malicious lies whenever you were not in the room. They magnified your smallest mistakes while completely ignoring your massive sacrifices. They slowly planted seeds of heavy doubt in your person's mind because they knew they could never compete with the deep spiritual connection you offered. They convinced them that your profound depth was actually just emotional instability. They deliberately called your beautiful passion completely crazy. And tragically, your person actually listened to them. Your person was not spiritually mature enough to handle the sheer magnitude of your energy. They got deeply scared of the intense transformation you naturally required. So they chose the easy comfort of their shallow friends. They ran back to the familiar chaos because pure peace felt far too foreign to their completely unhealed nervous system. They foolishly abandoned you for a temporary illusion. But heaven is fully reversing this situation right now. The inner circle is currently watching their entire plan backfire horribly. They thought removing you would bring your person back to their old toxic ways. But your absence actually created a massive spiritual void. and this profound emptiness cannot be filled by their shallow gossip or cheap distractions. The silence you left behind is absolutely deafening. It echoes in their mind every single day. Your person is finally waking up from this deep manipulation. They are sitting in crowded rooms with these friends and feeling entirely alone. They look at the people they chose over you and finally see the ugly truth. They clearly see the sad lack of basic ambition. They see the petty jealousy that dictates every single move they make. And a huge wave of intense regret is crashing over them right now, because they finally realize the immense value of the connection they foolishly destroyed. You are the master of your own beautiful reality. You did not have to defend yourself against their toxic smear campaign. You did not have to argue with fools to prove your incredible worth. You simply stepped back, and you allowed the powerful universe to do all the heavy fighting on your behalf. Your quiet authority is the most lethal weapon you possess. It requires zero physical effort to completely destroy the false narratives they built. The inner circle is panicking because they have lost their grip. They try to speak badly about you now, but your person immediately shuts them down because they finally recognize the pure malice behind those toxic words. Your person is aggressively defending your honor behind your back. The entire dynamic has completely flipped upside down. They are realizing that you were the only authentic thing they ever had. The heavy grief is absolutely crushing them today. This is exactly why you had to suffer through that painful isolation. Heaven needed to remove you so their true colors could be fully exposed. If you had stayed and fought for them, they would have never learned the truth, and they would have simply blamed you for all the constant drama. Your absence was the necessary catalyst for their spiritual awakening. They had to feel the freezing cold of the world. This taught them to remember the pure warmth of your blazing fire. The universe is orchestrating a massive rebalancing of karma right now. You are standing directly on the edge of a total victory, but you must firmly anchor your energy before the final secret is fully revealed. Type 111 down in the comments to claim this alignment, and do this immediately before we expose their darkest confession. Lock this divine frequency into your powerful spirit right now, because what comes next will change your reality forever. They are completely terrified of facing you ever again. They know they cannot come back with empty apologies or weak excuses. Your elevated energy demands a level of radical honesty they have never practiced before, and this requirement forces them to shed their old fake identity. But the heavy pressure inside their soul is building rapidly. They cannot hide behind their toxic friends for another day. The truth is demanding to be spoken out loud. The signs of their return are absolutely undeniable right now. You are seeing their specific name everywhere you go. The universe is actively dropping heavy hints into your daily reality. You wake up in the middle of the night and see repeating angel numbers on your clock. You dream about them with vivid clarity because their chaotic energy is desperately pulling on your field. They are deeply planning their inevitable return today. You feel a sudden tightness in your chest out of nowhere. That is not random anxiety playing tricks on you. That is your spirit detecting a massive shift in your current timeline. They are actively trying to find their way back to your safe harbor. They watch your every single move online with intense regret. They even use fake accounts just to see your glowing face. They quietly ask mutual friends about your life because they simply cannot handle the deafening silence. They draft long text messages to you and delete them in pure panic. They hold their phone and cry because the heavy shame of their past behavior is totally overwhelming. They know they destroyed a sacred bond. They are completely terrified that you have already moved on with someone much better. They know they cannot offer you cheap excuses anymore. But there is a massive problem with their incoming return. They deeply want to come back, but the original frequency gap is still active. If they step back into your life today, the exact same painful cycle will just repeat itself. Your fundamental receiver is still suppressed by the trauma they left behind. Before we go any further, I have to tell you something critical. Something the elite forces do not want you to know. Neuroscientists, working quietly away from the headlines, have discovered how to bring this dormant brainwave back. Not through years of heavy meditation that most people cannot sustain, not through expensive biofeedback machines that cost thousands of dollars and require a clinical setting. They found a way through something far simpler. It is much more aligned with how you were beautifully designed to work. A specific sound frequency was engineered to easily guide your brainwave patterns back to the genius state you were born with. Princeton University studied this exact mechanism deeply. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed it completely. And Columbia University found something even more shocking. They discovered that when this specific brainwave is reactivated, it actually begins to influence the people directly around you. Your restored energy will literally pull your person back into proper alignment. Your frequency will demand absolute respect without you saying a word. 7 minutes a day is absolutely all it takes. And it begins working the very first time you close your eyes and listen. You do not have to put in any massive physical effort. I will tell you exactly what this is called and how to access it before this message ends. But first, there is something you deeply need to understand about why your final breakthrough has been delayed. You must stay completely grounded in your quiet authority right now. Do not reach out to them first. Let the heavy karma do its necessary work on their unhealed soul. They must cross this painful bridge entirely alone. You have already done all the exhausting inner work. Your only job now is to prepare your own frequency for the massive collision of your two timelines. Take a slow, deep breath right here. Do you feel that slight pull in your chest right now? That is your powerful intuition confirming this truth. The universe is aligning everything perfectly behind the scenes, but you must be incredibly careful in these final moments before the dawn. The darkness does not want you to receive this ultimate kingdom connection. The enemy is watching your timeline very closely. They know your person is finally ready to surrender to your blinding light, so they are preparing a massive distraction to throw you completely off course. If you take your eyes off this screen, you will miss the exact warning you need to survive. A fatal trap is being set right in front of your front door. You have waited entirely too long to let a silly illusion ruin your divine destiny. The waiting season is officially coming to a massive close. But you must recognize the hidden danger before it enters your sacred space. Keep listening closely, because the next phase of this revelation is absolutely crucial for your total protection. It is time to completely purge the heavy self-doubt from your system. You must stop feeling incredibly small right now. Stop thinking your long isolation was some kind of punishment. You are the powerful cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. The universe did not forget about your deep desires. Heaven was rigorously preparing you to become a vessel strong enough to hold this massive blessing. Your waiting season was actually a divine protection protocol. You are no longer the fragile empath who begged for basic attention. That weak version of you died in the harsh wilderness. The intense crucible of pain has forged you into the untouchable master of your reality. Your energy now demands absolute respect without a single word spoken. Do not ever lower your vibration just to make ordinary people feel comfortable. You were born to be a blinding anomaly in a world full of copies. But this massive spiritual upgrade triggers a very specific defensive response from the dark side. The elite forces of darkness are absolutely terrified of your incoming kingdom connection. They know what happens when two chosen ones finally unite. So they are setting up the ultimate fatal trap right at your finish line. You must listen to this next part with absolute focus. 99% of chosen ones fall for this illusion. The trap is not a tragic accident. The trap is a person. Right before your true blessing arrives, the darkness will send a highly convincing counterfeit. Someone will suddenly walk into your life, looking exactly like the answer to your prayers. They will say all the right words. They will offer you the easy comfort you have been desperately craving, but their core frequency is completely hollow. They are a dangerous test. This counterfeit is deliberately designed to pull you back into chaotic survival mode. They carry the exact same toxic traits as your unhealed past. They might even be a toxic person from your history trying to return right now. Do not answer their calls. Do not reply to their manipulative text messages. This sudden appearance is happening because your energy field is finally glowing bright enough to attract major spiritual attention. These dark counterfeits are incredibly sneaky right now. They study your deep vulnerabilities and pretend to magically heal them. They mirror your beautiful traits to create a false sense of instant synchronicity. You might even see fake angel numbers when they are around. Do not let these orchestrated illusions fool your razor-sharp intuition. True divine connections bring absolute peace, while counterfeits only bring a rush of addictive anxiety. Heaven is watching your response in this exact second. Will you settle for a cheap imitation just because you are tired of waiting? Or will you stand firm in your quiet authority? The counterfeit is sent to test your spiritual boundaries. If you accept this fake connection, you will severely delay your true timeline. You must aggressively reject the illusion to prove you are ready for the real divine alignment today. Your true person is currently fighting their own massive battles to get back to you. They are breaking away from their toxic inner circle today. They are finally shedding the heavy ego that kept them entirely blind. If you let a counterfeit take up space in your sacred energy field, your true person will feel the chaotic static and retreat again. You must keep your energetic house completely clean for their imminent arrival. You must trust that slight pull of hesitation in your chest. That is your restored instinct screaming at you to walk away. The universe relies on your absolute obedience in this critical moment. When you firmly close the door on the counterfeit, you send a massive shockwave of authority into the spiritual realm. You declare that you know your extreme worth. You prove that your divine inheritance cannot be bought with cheap breadcrumbs. Take a deep breath right now. I need you to mentally evict every single fake energy from your physical space. You are a weapon of pure light. You do not tolerate confusion disguised as deep love anymore. You no longer tolerate disrespect disguised as brutal honesty. Let the heavy burden of your past mistakes completely wash away. The universe is about to hand you the final physical key to lock this reality in permanently. And this is precisely where the hidden mechanism becomes your greatest advantage. A fully activated mind effortlessly spots the counterfeit from miles away. When your natural frequency is fully online, the fake connections physically repel away from your aura. The darkness simply cannot exist inside a room flooded with blinding light. This is why restoring your original brainwave is the ultimate act of spiritual warfare today. But you cannot just wait passively for this collision to happen. Your brain must be running on the exact same high frequency as your beautiful soul. You have successfully done the exhausting inner work. You survived the brutal spiritual attacks alone. Now you desperately need the physical tool to bridge the massive gap. Remember the scientific discovery I asked you to hold earlier? The wait is officially over. Here is the ultimate truth you have been waiting for. The final piece of the divine puzzle is falling into place right now. Your person could not hold the heavy secret anymore. They broke down completely in front of their toxic friends. They finally confessed the exact words they were too terrified to say to your face. They told the inner circle that running away from you was the biggest mistake of their entire life. They admitted that they feel completely empty without your light. The exact words they said were absolutely devastating to their ego. They said that they ran away because they were deeply afraid of your intense purity. But sitting in the dark without you is actually killing them inside. They confessed that you are the only real thing they have ever touched in this fake world. The friends sat there in stunned silence. Their massive ego is totally shattered on the floor today. You won the spiritual war without lifting a single physical weapon. The question I asked you to hold at the very beginning of this message is critical now. What if the massive gap between you two is not a character flaw? Here is the powerful answer. A specific brainwave called the gamma wave was running in you at genius capacity when you were a child. Princeton University has studied this frequency extensively. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed it completely. And Columbia University found something truly miraculous. They discovered that when this specific brainwave is restored, it radiates outward and heavily influences the people you deeply love. A brilliant team of neuroscientists, led by Dr. Robert Lake, spent years compressing this clinical protocol. Before I tell you exactly what they built, let me tell you about two chosen ones who used it. A woman from California had desperately tried everything. She tried meditation and endless prayer. Nothing broke the heavy fog. But after 2 weeks of listening to this frequency, she said something just cleared. Her marriage dramatically shifted. She described her new life as completely enchanted for the very first time. A man from Texas started using it to improve his daily business focus. 2 months later, his wife joked that his intelligence had jumped 20 points. The hardest problems he used to lose sleep over started solving themselves automatically. He said it felt like his brain was finally running on the exact fuel it was always supposed to run on. That is exactly what Dr. Lake and his dedicated team built. They call it the Genius Song. It is absolutely not a meditation application. It is not some generic sound frequency you find online. It is a 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. It is compressed from 1 full hour of intense clinical protocol into something you do at home. You just wear headphones and keep your eyes closed. That is the entirety of what it requires. 7 short minutes. You do not deeply meditate. You do not chant words. You simply let the powerful frequency do exactly what your brain was beautifully designed to receive. The Genius Song is definitely not for everyone. It is specifically for the chosen one who has already done the heavy inner work. It is for the person who understands that they just need a restored channel. If your spirit confirms this, your path is ready. Biofeedback sessions to restore this powerful state cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a clinical setting. An in-home machine runs thousands of dollars. What the Genius Song delivers in 7 minutes is available to you today for a fraction of its true value. 4 powerful bonuses come directly with it. You get an audio track designed specifically for your children to build their pure confidence. You also receive the original prosperity text that famous secrets were secretly built upon. You get a guided visualization and a daily habits guide built to sustain your new gamma state. Here is the deeper truth about waiting. The beautiful provision God arranged for you does not arrive as something completely new. It arrives as something you suddenly recognize. A gamma-suppressed brain totally misses the recognition. A gamma-restored brain receives the blessing at full depth. What has been placed in your path is already there waiting for you. Waiting is absolutely not neutral. The divine arrangement is already in rapid motion. Do not look for this specific tool on common streaming platforms. The fake tracks circulating under similar names on those platforms have absolutely no brain entrainment technology encoded inside them. They carry the name because the barrier to doing so is 0. The only authentic version is available through the protected portal. The universe demands no risk from a chosen one. If you do not feel the immediate energetic shift, Your earthly investment is completely reversed without any questions. That is an energetic exchange governed by complete trust. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. The physical tool does not ever replace your spiritual obedience. It does not replace your beautiful surrender to the universe. It simply restores the pure receiver through which your obedience produces the massive results it was always supposed to produce. Whether that specific path is yours or not, the powerful truth of this message belongs to you entirely. Now let us go much deeper into what is waiting for you. Your reality is shifting in real time right now. The heavy spiritual warfare you fought in complete silence is totally over. You won the brutal battle. You are standing victorious on the other side of the dark valley. Their toxic inner circle has absolutely no power over your divine destiny anymore. Their malicious gossip evaporated into thin air the moment you claimed your true worth. You are the untouchable master of your own reality today. Your energy field is a massive fortress of blinding light that nobody can penetrate without your strict permission. The miserable days of accepting bare minimum effort are permanently finished. If they want to enter your sacred space again, they must rise to your exact frequency. They must drop the foolish games and the childish pride. You took all the heavy trauma that your family carried for generations, and you completely burned it to the ground. Future generations will thank you for the silent wars you won today. You broke the generational curse by simply refusing to settle for anything less than pure respect. For the chosen one whose spirit deeply confirmed what was described earlier, the specific path remains completely open. The frequency tool is waiting in the description and the pinned comment below. That is the final time it will be mentioned today. What follows right now belongs entirely to your powerful ceiling. The massive cosmic scales have tipped completely in your absolute favor. The long season of dry waiting has officially burst into a beautiful oasis. You can finally stop bracing yourself for the next heavy storm. Heaven is blowing every closed door completely off its hinges today. Your person is doing the grueling inner work they avoided for so long. They are shedding their massive ego because your pure absence left them with absolutely no other choice. They are actively preparing to approach you with the profound respect you always deserved. The universe is finally handing you the ultimate crown. Everything you lost during the painful separation is being restored to you right now. It is coming back, multiplied by 100. The deep financial struggles and the painful relationship loops are officially cancelled. You are stepping onto a brand new timeline where everything just flows with pure grace. The right people are magnetically drawn to your pure vibration today. The wrong people are physically repelled by your intense, blinding light. You did not break under the heavy pressure of the world. You evolved into a magnificent weapon of pure light. The intense pain tried to bury you in the cold ground forever. But they did not know you were a divine seed. You grew much stronger in the absolute dark, and now your beautiful branches are reaching directly into the high heavens. The generational wealth and the deep connections you were promised are flowing effortlessly into your new timeline. You do not have to chase anybody ever again. What belongs to you will hunt you down with relentless speed. You can finally exhale the heavy stress you have been holding. Let the massive tension drop completely from your tired shoulders. Heaven has taken the wheel from your hands. The divine arrangement is completely finished. All the confusing pieces of the puzzle have been placed exactly where they need to be. Your person is wide awake. The inner circle is totally defeated. The dark counterfeits have been completely exposed and permanently removed. The golden path is clear, but you must lock this glorious frequency in right now. The pitch-black darkness has retreated completely behind you. The dawn of the new era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown. The jealous enemy desperately wants you to click away from this message without sealing it. They want your beautiful energy to remain scattered and totally unanchored. Do not let them steal this massive victory at the final finish line. You must actively partner with heaven to create an absolute shield of divine protection around your blessing. God is watching your physical response in this exact second. Take a slow, deep breath and let this ultimate truth settle. Your physical action bridges the massive gap between the spiritual realm and your earthly reality. When you move your hands to seal this message, you send a terrifying signal to the dark side. You tell them that your beautiful gates are officially closed to their toxic nonsense. Type Amen down in the comments to seal this beautiful reality forever. Claim your divine alignment right now before you leave this sacred page. And if this fiery message has reignited the deep faith inside you, do not keep this great blessing to yourself. Share this powerful message with someone who desperately needs a guiding light today. Sowing the seed of pure hope today is multiplying the massive blessing for yourself tomorrow. Step gracefully into your kingdom.